Have you ever had a feeling that felt so real, so strong, so obvious that you thought, this has to be true? Maybe you felt like someone was a bad person, then years later realized they were actually kind, loyal, and misunderstood. Or maybe you trusted someone for years, only to later discover they were hiding something terrible. Maybe you felt completely sure you were supposed to marry someone, only for the relationship to fall apart almost immediately. Or maybe you felt peace, emotion, or certainty in a religious experience, and assumed that feeling alone meant something had to be true. And afterward you were left asking, was that intuition? Was that fear? Was that anxiety? Was that God? Was that just what I wanted to believe? This is why we need to talk about feelings. Because feelings matter. But feelings are not always facts. Feelings can warn us, guide us, reveal something important inside of us. But feelings can also mislead us. They can exaggerate, confuse, attach meaning to something that is not actually true. And if we build our lives on feelings alone, we can make decisions we later regret. So today, we're going to talk about how to tell the difference between feelings and facts. Because the goal is not to ignore your feelings. The goal is to listen to them, then bring in logic. Because intuition is powerful. But intuition without logic can become imagination. Fear can feel like a warning. Attraction can feel like destiny. Comfort can feel like truth. Relief can feel like peace. And emotion can feel like certainty. But feelings alone are not proof. Have you ever felt strongly about something and later realized you were wrong? Most of us have. That does not mean you are stupid. It means you are human. Our brains are not perfect truth machines. They are survival machines. They look for danger, comfort, meaning, patterns, approval. And sometimes the brain connects dots that do not actually belong together. You feel nervous around someone, so your brain says, they must be unsafe. But maybe they just remind you of someone from your past. You feel excited around someone, so your brain says, this must be love. But maybe it is chemistry, validation, or loneliness. You feel peaceful after making a decision, so your brain says, this must be right. But maybe you just feel relief because the uncertainty is over. You hear an emotional story at church. You feel inspired, emotional, connected, so your brain says, this must be true. But later you find out parts of the story were exaggerated or not accurate at all. That does not mean the feeling was fake. The feeling was real. But the feeling alone was not evidence that the story was true. And that is important because people all over the world feel deep emotion about completely opposite beliefs. If two people can feel peace about contradictory things, then peace alone cannot be the full test of truth. Feelings are information, not the final answer. Think of feelings like a smoke alarm. A smoke alarm matters. You should not ignore it. But a smoke alarm does not tell you exactly what is happening. It could mean there is a fire. It could mean someone burned toast. It could mean steam from a shower. The alarm gets your attention. Then you investigate. That is how feelings should work. A feeling says, pay attention. Logic says, let's figure out what is actually true. So here's the first step. Name the feeling without turning it into a fact. Instead of saying, this person is bad, say, I feel uneasy around this person. Instead of, this relationship is meant to be, say, I feel strongly connected to this person. Instead of, this religion must be true because I felt peace. Say, I had a meaningful emotional experience. Now I need to examine the facts too. That one shift changes everything because now you are grounded. You are respecting the feeling without worshiping it. The second step is to ask, what else could this feeling mean? This question is powerful because feelings usually come with a story attached to them. Fear says, I'm in danger. Attraction says, this is the one. Guilt says, I must be wrong. Peace says, this must be true. But feelings can have many explanations. Fear could mean danger, or trauma, or anxiety. Attraction could mean compatibility, or chemistry without character. Peace could mean truth, or familiarity, or relief, or avoiding conflict. Ask yourself, what are 3 other explanations for this feeling? That question alone can save you from impulsive decisions. The 3rd step is to slow down. Strong feelings create urgency. Decide now. Believe now. Leave now. Commit now. But truth usually does not panic. Wisdom can breathe. Healthy intuition can survive patience. Fear demands immediate action. Pressure demands immediate action. Impulse demands immediate action. But wisdom slows down and watches patterns. Because time reveals things emotions miss. Time reveals character, patterns, consistency, truth. Someone can seem amazing for a week. But how do they act when they are told no? When they are frustrated? When they do not get their way? When nobody is watching? That matters more than one emotional moment. The 4th step is to look for evidence. Ask yourself, what are the facts? Not, what do I hope is true? Not, what do I fear is true? What are the actual facts? If you think someone is trustworthy, what evidence supports that? If you think someone is dangerous, what patterns support that? If you think a relationship is right, can you resolve conflict? Can you be honest? Do your values actually align? Are there red flags you are ignoring? If you believe something spiritually, have you examined the evidence honestly, or only the emotion connected to it? Because emotional impact and factual truth are not the same thing. A movie can make you cry and still be fictional. A song can give you chills and still not be factual. Something can feel meaningful without being literally true. That distinction matters. The 5th step is to check your emotional state. Before trusting a strong feeling, ask, am I exhausted, lonely, anxious, overwhelmed, desperate for certainty? Because when you are emotionally vulnerable, everything feels more intense. Loneliness can feel like love. Anxiety can feel like danger. Desperation can make bad options feel right. So calm your body first. Sleep, eat, breathe, write it down. Talk to someone grounded. Then revisit the feeling later. A feeling based in truth usually survives calmness. Panic usually weakens once the nervous system settles. And finally, look for patterns, not moments. One emotional experience does not prove an entire belief system. One peaceful moment does not prove truth. One bad interaction does not prove someone is evil. One exciting moment does not prove compatibility. Patterns tell the truth better than emotional snapshots. So when you feel something strongly, pause. Ask, what am I feeling? What story am I attaching to this feeling? What evidence supports it? What evidence challenges it? What patterns do I see over time? Because wisdom is not ignoring your feelings. Wisdom is learning how to listen to your feelings without letting them control you. Feelings are powerful servants, but dangerous masters. And sometimes a feeling is not a command. Sometimes it is simply an invitation to slow down, ask questions, heal, investigate, pay attention. So the next time a feeling feels overwhelming, do not shame yourself. Do not ignore it, but also do not immediately obey it. Pause, question it, test it, bring in logic, look at the facts, watch the patterns. Give it time, because truth can survive questions. Healthy relationships can survive patience. Real intuition can survive logic. But fear, fantasy, manipulation, and wishful thinking usually cannot. Feelings matter, but feelings are not always truth. And wisdom is learning how to listen to your heart without turning off your mind. And if this video helped you think more clearly, comment below. What is a time your feelings told you one thing, but the facts eventually told you something different?